Hi, I'm Dawson Church, and the topic of today is projection. Projecting onto other people. Most of us are familiar with the whole idea that many of the things happening inside of us we project onto others. So, for example, we might think that somebody else is causing our emotional distress, but in fact, all we're doing is we're projecting our emotional distress onto the other person. It's bouncing back. We're seeing it. We think it's coming from them, but it's really a projection of our own thoughts, feelings, and consciousness. And one of the ways we do this is in our relationships with other people, especially our close relationships like marriage relationships, love relationships. We project all kinds of things onto the other person. We might think it's that person doing that thing, but it's actually our own projection. An example is an unmet need for being heard. Many of us weren't well heard when we were children. Adults were way up there, we were way down here, we're looking up there at this big person up there who's just oblivious to us or not paying close attention to us. We're trying to communicate with them and tell them our needs, what we require, and they are maybe answering us from a great height, looking down at us, and this big stern person. So that's kind of this really unequal relationship we have with adults as kids, and often we didn't get heard. Our voices weren't heard, and that's why children often really create emotional drama. They might start to really raise their voices, they might be naggy, they might whine. All those are just efforts to be heard. So the chances are that you had a deficit of being heard as a child. So now you're in a relationship or you're married and you so want that other person to hear you. All of the repressed desire to be heard that you accumulated as a child now is now attached to this new adult relationship. So all of those times you weren't heard, hundreds of times when you weren't heard by teachers, by other kids when you were in school, when you weren't heard by caregivers or parents, all of those experiences, unmet needs are now projected onto the new lover, and you so want them to hear you. Now, maybe they do hear you for the first few months or the first year, but after the first year or so, the chances are they're not hearing you quite as perfectly as you'd like, and you think it's them. You think you aren't getting your need met by them. But what's really happening is you're projecting your unmet childhood needs onto this person, and then because they can't be the perfect parent and reparent you, and because you have this big deficit left over from your childhood, you're then sabotaging the relationship by demanding that your current person fill these needs, and often getting angry at them if they don't. So now they're being hit with this anger coming from you, but it's all the result of your own projection. So how do we tap and break this vicious cycle, which can really hurt a relationship? It can really hurt a relationship. One woman I worked with was talking about her anger toward her husband for not helping out with the childhood chores. So we did some digging, and she was so angry at her husband, and it turned out that the real source of her distress was that when she was a child, her mother and she and her sisters took care of all the household chores when they were young, and the men in the household, her dad, her uncles, sat around, drank beer, smoked, did nothing, and were waited on by the mother and the daughters like they were servants. And so that unmet childhood need to be recognized or to have the men participate was now being projected onto her husband. We tapped then not on the husband, but only on the childhood need. All those times when she felt the injustice of the women doing all the work. So we tapped on that. That went down to a zero. Guess what then happened around her husband and her demanding that her husband take care of more things around the house. She actually burst into tears and she said, Dawson, I realized I'm really messing up the relationship. He does a lot around the house already, and I'm always nagging him to do more. He can never do enough. And I'm the one that's hurting the relationship by my behavior. She recognized her projection once she tapped on the childhood event. So I'd like you now to think about something you project onto other people. And imagine your need like a funnel that you're inserting into their energy body or into their body. You're wanting to suck something from them. You want attention, you want time, you want energy, you want some kind of love from this other person. So imagine yourself, imagine the other person, imagine this tube, this tunnel going from you to them, and you wanting to suck the stuff from them. You want this stuff, you want this need met that you have. You want this stuff to be received by you from them. That's probably a projection, and let's do some tapping on that now. Tune in, first of all, to that person and how strongly you want that need met. Now, feel where in your body you crave having that need met. It's probably in your heart, maybe in your solar plexus, maybe in your throat, but probably somewhere in your center line, you feel a physical sensation of craving to have that need met. Where in your body is that? Now, how strong is that craving? Use our handy SUD scale from 0 to 10, with 0 being no craving at all, no emotional intensity at all, 10 being the highest possible emotional intensity. And where are you on that scale from 0 to 10? Are you a 3? Are you a 7? Are you a 9? Maybe even a 10. Okay. Now I'd like you to think back to the very first time in your life you ever felt that same physical sensation in your body. So maybe it's in your heart, maybe it's a 7, travel back in time. Think of an early incident in your life when you felt that same physical sensation. So now you've got your body feeling, your number, and your event, your childhood event. Now, let's tap on that childhood event. Maybe even write down your number first. Write down your number, write down the name of your event, and write down your body location, so we can see what effect our tapping session is going to have. So grab your smartphone, grab a piece of paper, and write down those 3 things: the location in your body, your number, and the name of your event. Good. Now for some tapping. Say out loud, even though this event happened, and I didn't like it, I deeply and completely accept myself. This event happened. It was miserable. And I still completely accept myself. This event happened. It shouldn't have happened, but it did. And I accept myself with this event. This event. Name the event. That bad event. Name the event again. That bad event. Name it again. Now say it out loud. Loudly, loudly, loudly. Loud as you can. The name of the event. That event. Yell if you want to. The event. Do some swearing if you want to. That bloody event. Or you can use worse words if you want to as well. I actually don't use terribly bad words, but you can if you want. So, that event. That event. Name of the event. Say it out loud. Say it loudly. Swear. That event. And I have such compassion on myself. I have compassion on the kid, me, that experienced that bad event. That young version of me got hurt so badly. It happened. It shouldn't have happened, but it happened. And I accept myself. Even though the event happened, I accept myself. The event. The event. This event. That bad event. That miserable event. Compassion on myself. I'm big now. I'm an adult now. I was little and powerless when that happened. So big, powerful me now sends love to little, powerless me then. I'm telling that little version of myself that I love you, and you're safe. And see, I survived. The event happened, and I survived. I survived that event, and I survived worse. Now I, as a powerful adult, tell you, as a powerless kid, I love you. I'm there for you. I love you. I survived, and I'm there for you. I love you and I survived that event. Name the event. Say the event loudly. And I survived. I love you. I survived the event. The event. Survived. Child. Survival. The event. Bad event. I love you. Child. Survival. Okay, take a deep breath again. And now tune back into your body, the same location you wrote down earlier. Think of your event vividly again, and give it a new score from 0 to 10, with 0 being no intensity and 10 being the maximum intensity. The chances are your numbers dropped way down. You've probably gone down from a high score to a low score, maybe even to a 0. If not, go ahead and rewind this brief program and tap again. And the chances are good that the second time round, your number will go down still further. So whenever you feel yourself craving anything from another person, when you want time, money, attention, when you feel that craving, wanting to suck in the other person's energy or time or attention or money, you're just projecting those unmet needs onto your partner. It's not their job to heal you. It is not their job to fill in those childhood deficits. It's your job. And you are a big, powerful, resourceful adult now. You can do this. You can tap for yourself. You can tap for that child who didn't have the resources you now have. So please go ahead and do this. Do this for many childhood events, and do this anytime you feel that sense of wanting something from your partner, that sense of demand, that sense of an unmet need inside of you that you're projecting out onto the other person. Once you've learned to meet your own needs, to fill your own deficits, to reparent yourself, to help yourself get over that craving and deal with it yourself, in yourself, and not make it about your partner, it is completely empowering. The moment you make it about your partner, you hand your power away to them. And they can never be a good enough parent to give you everything you missed as a child. Only you can do that. So that feeling of need, that feeling of lack, when you're projecting, should be a signal to you not to look for that from somebody else, to hand your power over to a partner, but to re-empower yourself, to tap, to grab your power, make it yours. Be the responsible adult. And then, when you are that responsible adult, you come into this relationship happy, loving, empowered, and incredibly attractive. You are a whole different person when you learn to meet your childhood needs and no longer project those needs for fulfillment onto other people. So please, be tappy, be happy.